It's been a while. I missed you guys. So today's video is going to be kind of just chatty. I'm so sorry if this is the first video you've ever seen of me. I typically talk about magical things, witchcraft, and all of that fun stuff. My name is Sophie and I am the Midwest Magician. But today, I wanted to come back to YouTube with some like fun grand video. And that put a lot of pressure on me that I don't feel like I need right now. So I figured I would come back on here, I would do some little eye masks just to, do some skincare, which I can start doing right now. Never done any skincare in my dining room, but here we are. And I just wanted to kind of talk about where I've been, and spoiler alert, burnout was a huge factor of why I was not filming, but I figured it would be nice to talk about getting out of burnout. So I have some tips. I break it down into a couple of sections, and it isn't a fast solution, but for me, it's always worked out and been a tried and true way to get my nervous system kind of back into check. So I wanted to chat about that today too. And while I do that, and while I do my little eye patch skincare thing, I'm also going to be making a calming spray for myself, just for future purposes when I need to chill myself out. And depending on how long this video is, I'll probably make a lucky oil too, so that I can charge that under the sun. So that's kind of my plan. And if that sounds interesting to you, feel free to put this on in the background, grab yourself a tea. I made some at the beginning of the video, and let's just chat. All right, so the spray that I'm making, I'm just using, I think this is a 2-ounce bottle. I'm gonna be putting in quartz, which by the way, I just wrote the script for my Coffee and Crystals. The next one is quartz. So that will be coming out very, very soon, and I'm very much looking forward to it. But I'm just doing 3 little pieces of quartz. I love to work in 3s. I have lavender bundles from my front garden. I might have to cut these down. I might cut it down a little bit. Lavender from the garden, 3 little bundles, and then I have a little sprinkle of some chamomile from the garden as well. Let me get some scissors, I'll cut these down. Okay, so let's catch up. Basically, the last probably 2 weeks of June and the first 2 weeks of July, I had a ton going on. We were getting ready to go on a trip for the 4th of July. We went to Fayetteville, North Carolina to visit family, and I've never been there before. It was just a lot. It was a lot for me, and I'm just like, it's not super easy for me to travel in general. I always have fun once I'm at places, like once I actually get to my destination, but the actual planning and the logistics, and especially we drove, and it was supposed to be 12 hours. The way there ended up taking like 14 hours because in the last hour we were in Indiana was supposed to only be like 15 minutes, and they were doing road work. So thanks, Indiana, for that. You really set us back. We still love you. You're a Midwest friend, but that sucked. It added on so much time, and on the way there, every single time we stopped, I felt like it added on 2 hours, and it was like we stopped for 3 minutes to use the bathroom and fill up the car, and that's it. But planning for the trip was very stressful. We have a lot of animals, so getting them all set up and ready to go takes a lot of time, and especially with the dogs, it's like we take them to daycare, which we're so lucky. They love their daycare, and it's amazing. Look at the chamomile in there. It's so pretty. They love their daycare, which is great, but it's a lot of prep to like get them ready. And it was the 4th of July weekend, so I wanted to make sure they had plenty of like CBD and any anti-anxiety stuff they would possibly need, because that's not typically a holiday that we're gone for. So getting the dogs set up is kind of a lot of work. The cats are a little bit easier because they just graze and chill all day, and we have family that is so willing to come and look after them, which, like, thank goodness we have family close by. That helps us significantly, and it saves us a ton of money. But I'm gonna add witch hazel in here just to keep this from going moldy. Probably like a quarter of it. And then I'll just fill the rest with water. But for the cats and for the house, and every, you know, we have spirits here, we have ancestors, we have plants, we have the house spirit, and it's just hard for me to leave and feel like everything is taken care of. Ouch, Freya, she just stabbed me. Anyways, it's a little bit tricky for me to leave. So I prepped everything as much as I could here. I let the ancestors know because I do give them an offering every morning, and then in the afternoon and evenings I switch out. The morning one is coffee. The afternoon and evening one is just fresh water in a nice little fancy wine glass looking thing. Here's my calming spray. I'm gonna label it. It looks so pretty. I don't know if I want to put a label on it. We'll see. We'll see, but I'll let this soak probably for a week or so before I actually end up using it. So basically, to leave the house, I typically will let the ancestors know well in advance, like, hey, there's this many days that you just are not gonna get an offering from me, but this is the day I get back, and as soon as I'm unpacked and settled into the house, you're getting something super great to make up for all of those missed days. And same thing with the house spirit. I give the house spirit far less offerings, but I mean, it just kind of depends, because I do see like cleaning the house and taking care of it as an offering. So I don't give them as many physical offerings as I do acts of service offerings. But regardless, I let the ancestors know well in advance. I let the house spirit know well in advance. And then I will ask the house spirit to watch after the ancestors and to watch after the plants and the cats. I'll ask the ancestors to watch over the house spirit, the plants, and the cats. I'll ask the plants to watch over the house spirit, the ancestors, and the cats, and I'll ask the cats to watch over the house, the... Do you get what I'm saying? I ask everyone to look after everyone else. So, because I won't be here, and I'm like the steward of the land, and I'm the steward of the house, so, or stewardess, regardless. So that's kind of what I do to set up leaving the house. So that is all a ton of work, and my husband and I are plant-based, and nobody else in the family is, so we had to do all of the grocery shopping well in advance and prep all of our meals and freeze them. And that is also a ton of work, and we're happy to do it, but it's a lot of work to prepare a whole trip's worth of food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and freeze it and pack it and drive 12 hours, which is actually 14 hours. We had a great time, and it was a lot of fun. So coming home, we were exhausted naturally. It was, you know, another 12+ hour drive home. We took a look at the garden, and everything like tripled in size from when we left, which was insane. So noted for next year, our garden loves to be neglected. That's easier for me anyways. But the following day, we chose for it to be a couch day, just relaxing and hanging out. I had some sourdough prepping, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my toilet just started leaking all over the bathroom. He was outside doing his thing, so I called him. I'm like, can you come inside real quick? And he comes in, shuts off the water to the toilet, and I go in our bedroom because the cats are in there anyway, so I'm just gonna keep them away from that area because nobody wants cats running through toilet water. But our cat, Tom Bigby, he is the big orange one, he's like 20 pounds. He was just standing in the bedroom, and he was like frozen. And I'm like, what's going on, buddy? And his little tail is wagging, and he's just bleeding on the ground. And I'm like, oh my God. So we're calling the emergency vet. We have the toilet leaking everywhere. The cat's bleeding on the ground. We scoop him up and we take him to the emergency vet, and we're horrified because he has a history of UTIs, and if it's left unchecked for so long, it could be fatal to them. So we were super, super concerned about Tom. We rushed him to the emergency vet. Luckily, thank goodness, he did not have a blockage. He just had a UTI. So, and he was totally fine the day before. So like, thank goodness, thank goodness, thank goodness. And I prayed to St. Michael too, Archangel Michael, before we left. So everyone was looking after each other, and Tom was fine until well after we were home. It was like halfway through the following day that we were home. So we were super grateful for that. But unfortunately, we had a sick cat on our hands. And if you've ever had a sick cat, which we hadn't before, they are an insane amount of work. The lighting changed and I look very yellow, so I hope that does not bother you. I pulled out my Scott Cunningham Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs just to take a look at the luck herbs. So what I'm gonna do for the luck oil, where did I put my thing? Oh my goodness. I have a dropper bottle. So what I'm going to do is add in some star anise. I'm going to add in some dried rose petals. I'm gonna add in some rosemary. I'm gonna add in some lemongrass. And then I'm also going to add in lemon balm and peppermint. All of these are correspondences that I personally consider very lucky, and there were some listed in here as well. So that's what I'm gonna work on. And then I'm gonna use jojoba oil to infuse it all. But anyways, so we're dealing with a sick cat. We just got back from a trip that was fun, but very stressful for me to plan out and get all of the logistics for everything. And on top of that all, there's just a lot of things going on at my job, and I'm not really gonna talk about my job on here just because if anyone from my job knows about this channel or somehow found it, I don't want them to see me talking about them. But just know that my work has the ability to become very stressful very quickly. So all of these things together left me very stressed out, and I started getting physical symptoms from that stress. So I had to deal with that. I was physically just absolutely exhausted. Like, not even, I couldn't make it through the day. I'm usually somebody who just has a little coffee in the morning out of habit more than anything. I don't typically really need it. I was having coffee in the middle of the afternoon. It was just insane. I was refilling my coffee even after my first coffee that I usually have. Just like all day long I was having caffeine, and I'm like, this is so unhealthy for me. So having caffeine, totally exhausted. It was at that point where I'm like, I cannot focus on a single other thing. I have some other things in my kind of private and social life going on too that were definitely fun, but again, I was at the point of burnout after all of these plans, getting the vacation, dealing with the sick cat, dealing with everything that was going on at work. It was just too much. So I hit the wall. I was totally burnt out. I wish we could see the herbs in here, but that's okay. I was totally burnt out, and I just needed to completely let everything go and just start focusing on what was going to make me feel better. So typically when I get burnt out, I need to fix my nervous system. That's the first and foremost thing. So I will just kind of go completely into hermit mode and just rest until I feel even a tiny bit better. And then I can start the main bulk of my plan on how I typically will get myself from literally 0 back to 100 or very close to 100%. So the way that I like to do that is by breaking it down into 3 sections. And the first is going to be my mind. So what I like to do for my mind is, the first thing, I start meditating. And my husband is amazing, and he was the one that took the lead on this one this time around that I needed it. So what we've been doing, which we need to get a little bit better about, but it's been working so far. What we've been doing is going out into our garden and sitting together on our little path stones, holding hands, cross-legged, and just meditating for 5 to 10 minutes. And that's all we're doing, is just holding hands in the garden, sitting down and clearing our mind and just breathing and meditating. And that has been just such an amazing experience, and I cannot wait to keep doing it. And I'm really sad that it's gonna start turning into the colder months because it's gonna be a little harder to do then. We'll have to bring it inside, but that's okay. For now, the garden meditation has been amazing. The next thing for my mind is also gonna be meditation, but it's more solo. I do like to, I guess this could go in any of the 3 categories, but we're gonna put it in mind. I like to go and take my socks off and just stand at the base of the tree in my backyard with my hand on the tree and my feet on the ground, and I just kind of let nature do its thing. I let the tree cycle through my hand and out through the ground and just kind of cleanse me in that way. And really, it's more of a mind exercise than anything. I know there are tons of benefits to, I believe they call it earthing, but for me, it's like more of a mental exercise to picture the healing from the tree and anything bad going out my feet and down into the earth. So that's what I do. I also, for my mind, like to do mind dumps. And basically what that looks like is on my phone, because I don't want a trace of this at all when I'm done. But I will, in my phone and my notes, just write down every single thing that's bothering me. Anything, like if I have a mean thought about somebody, if I'm pissed off, if I'm sad, I put that all in my phone notes. And once I finally feel like empty of any anger or any yucky feelings, I delete the note and it's gone. Totally gone. It's out of my system, out of my mind. I don't have to think about it again. So meditation and mind dumps are the absolute way to go for the mind portion of my nervous system reset. So I'm sure you can see where this is going. The next portion is going to be body, and it's obvious I need to start making sure I'm taking care of my body. So what that looks like for me, first and foremost, is changing up my diet. The first thing, I had to cut out the coffee. I was like, I can have my morning coffee and then that's it, no more. I'm giving myself anxiety, I'm stressing myself out, and I'm letting my body rely on the caffeine to keep me awake and alert rather than letting myself have my regular energy levels. So cut out the coffee. I started drinking a lot more herbal teas, which has been amazing. It's the best thing I could have done. And I knew I should have been doing it, but I was not, I wasn't in a good headspace. So I was allowing myself to kind of bend my own rules that I had made for myself, and it was harming my mental and physical health. So I cut out the coffee, started drinking more of the herbal teas, and then I took a look at the things that I was eating. And a lot of those things were like salty snacks, like potato chips. Substituting that for like, I'm gonna go home and roast some kale and put the olive oil and the salt on that, and that can be my salty snack. Or something amazing that I've been obsessed with is having just a couple of olives that are stuffed with garlic. It's the best little salty snack ever. So switching up my diet and my caffeine drink practices has helped a ton. I've also been doing the rebounder trampoline. I know that I can't think of the gland that it stimulates, but when you jump on the rebounder, it stimulates a gland in your brain that makes you feel relaxed and happy. So I've been doing 2 sets of 50. So I'll do 50, take a break for a minute, 50, then I'm done. And that's all I need to do for one day for that portion of the body, and it helps stimulate the happiness in your brain. So why not give it a shot? It's been working really well for me so far. And then I've also been just doing a small little exercise. I have some weights next to my rebounder trampoline. So I'll do 10 of these, and then I'll do 10 weighted squats. And I do want to add more reps to this in the future, but just kind of getting myself back on some kind of path for that. And then the last thing that I do for the body is a cleansing shower, and this could also go into the last category too, but I do a cleansing shower. Just the first thing I do when I get home, even before the rebounder, I will just come home, jump in the shower. I have these little shower steamers that are eucalyptus and I think like chamomile, and I throw one of those in the shower and I just let the whole day melt off of my body. And this could be mind, this could be the last one too, but that's my favorite part of getting home. I just get in the shower and wash the day away, and then I'm in the right headspace to be in a good mood when I'm at home as well. So that is the whole body portion. And then the last one, you probably guessed it, is spirit. So the things that I like to do for spirit, I do a daily draw. I need to get a little bit better with this. I was doing really well with it with my soul care oracle, and I had it in the kitchen. Went on vacation, came back, and I just need to get back into a practice. I have this deck right now that I've been working with, and I have a card on my altar that I'm kind of letting that be my card going through August that I pulled. So that's a great one for spirit. I want to start giving myself offerings. However, I don't feel like I need like a physical thing. So basically the way that I'm shifting my mindset is, instead of making myself do this mind, body, spirit, I've been seeing this as an offering to myself, and viewing it in that way has been super beneficial to fixing my nervous system and helping me to get back on the right path for me. And then the last thing, it could be any of the three as well, but I'm putting it under spirit, is just studying, just reading up about the things that I want to be learning from my practice. That has been so helpful for me to feel connected to my path and my, spiritual journey. So recently, I've received a prompt to work on folklore. So I decided to get a book on Irish folklore and fairy tales, and I learned all about a bunch of different fairies that are in Irish folklore. So that was like so much fun to learn about, and it's not something that I probably would have looked into had I not had the prompt to do so. It's been really fun to kind of study the different things that I want to learn in my practice, and I thought the Irish folklore thing was really cool because I do have Irish ancestry, so it was a fun way to kind of connect with those parts of my roots. But all in all, so I've been doing my little reset basically since a week or so after my 4th of July trip, and it has helped me so significantly. Like, I feel a night and day difference. I have been sleeping well again, and I had an extra coffee today. I did, I'll admit it, but that was the first one in a really long time, and I should have just made tea. So it's been insanely helpful, and yeah, I don't know. That's really like where I've been and why I've been, off of YouTube for a while. I just really needed to focus on me and focus on rebuilding myself, fixing my nervous system, and getting myself back into a daily mundane and a daily magical practice. So my lucky oil is done. I'm gonna let this just kind of sit. I will put this out in the sun to charge, and I will have this to be able to use anytime I need a little extra bit of luck to my spell work. So that's the main video. I apologize that I was gone for so long. I do have a lot of videos planned. I have scripts written. The only thing I need is a little bit of time to sit down and actually film them, but that will be coming very soon. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. But with that said, I am going to go and hang out with this little goofball, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you very, very soon for the next video, which I believe is going to be a coffee and crystals. And I will see you soon. Bye.